online at WBBW.com. Ryan and Ellis here, and right now we're going to bring on James Dodson from the 360 Sports Network. Talk fantasy football like we do every Thursday. Get some advice. Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having us back.
Oh, anytime. We love having you Thursday. I can say that I'm actually 3-1 and 3-2 and 4-1 in my leagues because of most of the advice that I've gotten, and that's epic for me.
Oh, let's keep it going then. Let's get another win for you.
All right, Ellis has a question.
All right, first question, and
Really?
trial.
Right.
I say it. Yeah, we have a bright light shining in your face right now. First question, and it's from a guy who's not very near and dear to my heart, Tim Tebow. How do you think he's going to do it from a fantasy standpoint? Even though he has a bye this week and he won't be playing until 2 weeks from now, what's your fantasy standpoint on him?
Well, fantasy standpoint and actual football playing standpoint are two totally different things. Not the biggest Tebow fan. I think Orton's a better quarterback in Denver, but when Tebow does get in there, when he does start, his stats are pretty good. And we've seen the team support him, the fans support him, and he always comes out to play. So from a fantasy perspective, especially being able to get points with his legs, he's a good pick. Honestly, if you're in quarterback need, I would pick him up this week even though he's on the bye. They're saying he's starting, and when he starts, he gets good points. So if you need a quarterback, he's definitely not somebody to ignore at all.
Okay.
All right, my question real quick is, I know this is like, you're not supposed to do this, right? And I'm kind of in a bind because I like to, and I should have looked at the schedule a little more. I kind of do what I like to call UFO defense, and that's a Rob Ryan term. But I like to just pick up a defense as they go. I don't really have a set one. However, I've really been liking Sam Fran's defense the last couple weeks, and I don't want to get rid of them. But they're playing Detroit, and my starting quarterback is Stafford. Now, you can't play your defense against your quarterback, right? Like, that's dumb. Is that dumb?
Well, honestly, that can play either way. Yeah, if you want to get the big points, then yeah, you should have San Fran on your bench, or you should go with your backup quarterback, whatever seems better. I've always been a good proponent of picking up the defense that looks best each week, because there's always going to be a good one who's playing the terrible offense, what was Indianapolis before Curtis Painter started coming up strong. But in terms of, is it really bad to have your quarterback against your defense? A lot would say yes, but honestly, last 2 weeks, I've lost both my games with my opponent having quarterback and defense against each other. And last week, Stafford, he threw a couple interceptions, but those didn't cost him because your defense got the points right back. And then any yards that you got with Stafford, you were getting points that didn't go against the defense unless there was a touchdown. So it can go both ways. You won't get the big points, but you're not hurt as much. When Stafford throws an interception, you could say, oh, well, no points against me.
We're talking to James of 360 Sports, and actually I got a question from one of our salespeople, Dana. She wants to know if Ben Jarvis-Granellis, he had a great game last week. Was that for real? How's his outlook look for the rest of the season?
It's tough to tell. Belichick will never play his hand very much. I mean, we thought Stevan Ridley was going to come up big and start taking away carries and possibly be the starter. Thought maybe he'd be the next Danny Woodhead and now with Woodhead out, we don't know what's going on there.
Right.
I'll tell you what, if Greenellis keeps running like that, I don't care who they have up there. If I'm Belichick, I keep giving the law firm of Ben Jarvis-Greenellis the ball because he's plowing people over and he's sprinting away for easy touchdowns. I don't think it's a fluke, honestly. I think that they're going to stick with him for a while because he has performed well all year.
Okay.
Talking to James Dodson from the 360 Sports Network. Tell us real quick, what is the web address?
The Twitter tag is 3S Network. You can get to our website just by Googling 360 Sports Network. It's 360sportsnetwork.blogspot.com.
We ask this question every week, and every week it seems like it starts getting thinner and thinner at running back. But if you're out of running back, or if you need to pick someone up, is there anybody maybe people are overlooking? Because every time I look through the running back list, I just look at the names and go, ooh, I cringe.
Yeah.
Is there anything? Any hope out there?
There's not many out there, are there? One of the big guys, and you got to take this with a grain of salt because he's on bye this week. So if you're looking for a bye running back, don't go for this guy. But Jackie Badalove from Kansas City, he had 21 touches at running back last week, 19 carries, 2 catches. compared to Thomas Jones only had 12 touches, Dexter McCluster only 4. So this guy, it looks like he might be taking over the reins there in the Kansas City backfield. And going into last week, less than 1% availability. And even now, halfway through this week, he's still available in 85% of leagues. So he's definitely someone to go after. In terms of to get somebody who's on the bye to be able to play this week, I'm definitely looking at Ernest Graham. In 5 games, he has 23 catches out of the backfield. That's been his main priority so far. But now with Garrett Blount, his injury, it's probably going to keep him out this week and maybe even longer. And Ernest Graham available in well over 9% of leagues, and he's going to be getting even more touches now. He's going to be a primetime player to pick up for bye weeks this week.
How about, I was looking at some other stuff here. Wide receivers, is there anybody out there maybe? I'll tell you, just real quick, what happened with Moore from Oakland?
Oh,
I had him last week.
He threw up
nothing.
he gave me a 0 last week.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on with Denarius Moore. I think that teams are starting to attach onto him a little bit more, and all of a sudden Darius Heywood-Bey is stepping up, and he's my top wideout to pick up this week. He's available in about 70% of leagues, and he's hit over 100 yards each of the last 2 games, including a touchdown last week. And I'll tell you what, for how slow of a start he had, I think he had a total of 30 yards maybe in the first 3 games. He's now coming on strong and showing that he can be a primetime player out there in Oakland, and that's where Campbell's looking the ball. I think he had 12 targets last week, actually.
You know what? I had a chance in my league to get him. He was still there on Tuesday, and I was like, I'll wait. He's gone. I should have picked him up. Because especially playing Cleveland, and if Joe Hayden doesn't play, I mean, that could be fantasy heaven right there. Because I don't know, Sheldon Brown and Demetri Patterson.
Well, now you know, of course, now that we're saying this, though, that Denarius Moore is going to go off and have a 200-yard game. That's just the way fantasy football works.
Well, that's why I'm keeping him. I have him, and I'm just going to let him.
It always works that way.
Not really ready to drop him yet.
Hey, James, I do the same thing Ryan does when it comes to defenses. I pretty much pick, depending on matchup, I don't stick with one, especially if I don't get a prime defense during the draft. Any defenses this week that you have your eye on?
Well, it depends, because everybody has such a different strategy, so there's honestly no way to tell what defenses are going to be available from one week to the next, from one league to another. I definitely, looking down through the list, I like your San Fran defense, but I think they're going to be taken. Honestly, this might come as a bit of a surprise, but the Giants defense has been performing decently well, and the fact that they are at home, even against Buffalo, who isn't great on the road, that's a possibility if you have no other better options. Cincinnati's been a good defense, and we don't know what to expect with Indianapolis since they're still without Peyton Manning. Again, it depends. You never know what you're going to get, what guys are going to be available. You just got to play the matchups, and honestly, you just got to go with your gut with what team seems to be, or looks to be the best matchup in your mind.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that because I asked earlier about my quarterback playing my defense. I just don't think I like it. It just doesn't seem right. But I was going to ask you, so Cincinnati's still available. They're home against the Colts. That seems like that could be some points right there.
It's not going to get you any negative points, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
And honestly, that's pretty much, sometimes that's all you can ask for. I mean, I highly considered playing Tampa Bay's defense last week, and you see what would have happened with that, right?
Right.
So, and you know, you're going to get games like that. You never know what's going to happen. And honestly, if you can pick a defense that's consistent, which is what Cincinnati especially has been this year, that's not a bad route to go.
No, it is not. All right, real quick, tell us about the website before we got to go.
It's 360 Sports Network. The easiest way to get to us is just Googling 360 Sports Network. It'll come right up. Also a link on the WBBW website. We are a site designed just for the fans. We want your input. We want your questions, especially fantasy football, matchup questions, start 'em, sit 'em. We know we can't hit every single individual player, so we want to, if you guys send us questions straight on our website, we'll be happy to answer each and every one of them. And can also follow us at Twitter, 3S Network.
All right, thank you very much, James. We'll talk to you next Thursday.
All right, thanks a lot. Good luck this week.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Love talking to them.
Yeah.
I do. I feel like, because I am historically bad at fantasy football.
What's funny is that I make about 2 or 3 moves while I'm talking with him because he makes me think of stuff, and I was like, oh, wait, yeah, I could do that.